a quick guide on how to get encounter maps together for AWOWLab. For those of you trying to import stuff to MOP and stuff like that. So starting with two files you need, Blender and WoW Export. I'm not going to run through installing these. I'm sure you can figure it out. Pop open WoW Export to begin with, program files, navigate to where you have WoW installed. WoW installed, and then select folder, and it'll kind of pop up with whatever versions you have installed. Select beta, or whatever the latest version is. They all have the same game files, more or less. As far as I know, maybe Classic has something different. First thing you have to do is come up here to the 8 bars, go install Blender add-on. Install automatically. We'll store an add-on we need, and then maps. Find whatever map that you're trying to get the arenas from. Throne of Thunder was mentioned, so here, pick the tiles you need. Just shift-click the various tiles that you're trying to grab. I'm not familiar with Throne of Thunder, so I don't actually know what's really the raid and what's not. And those will take about 5 minutes 5 minutes per tile to export. And once those are saved wherever you saved them, pop open Blender. You're gonna get rid of that screen, select all, and then File, Import. I'm just gonna pause here so I don't leak my name. Sorry, I realized that could have been a little bit clearer. File, Import, WoW OBJ. If it's not here, you're gonna have to turn the add-on in within Blender. Again, not gonna run through the tutorial on how to do that. I'm sure you can figure it out how to enable add-ons, and I'm just gonna pause so I don't leak my name. And you just go to wherever you have those files installed. In this instance, it's going to be WoW Export Exports for me, and then Maps, and then the various tiles you extracted from the game files, and import WoW OBJ. That's going to take a minute. I'll just pause again. Okay, all in that took about a minute. From here, you're just going to click on the Z in the top here. It'll center your camera like this. Zoom out as much as you can while still seeing the lines. And then if you just use the hand, you can drag to wherever until you can see it. This is just located where the world coordinates are. All you got to do is position your viewport roughly in the arena you're trying to grab. This is like the Phoenix arena from the next raid. And then add, in object mode, you want to go add camera, and then add light sun. And that's just so actually we can delete and show that without that. So let's start with the camera. All you got to do is hit Control-Alt-0, numpad 0 if you have a numpad. And it'll snap the camera to where you are. And then I'll hit Alt-12 just to kind of show it. We have to add light. The scene's not going to be lighted at all. It's just going to be ambient light. So this will be super dark, which obviously isn't ideal. So all we have to do is go add light sun. And then from the sun settings, you actually want to go down to light and turn off shadows. And that's just so you don't have like a weird edge that blocks light and you end up with like a big black part. Now if we hit F12, you'll see that it's lit. Relatively good. And then the rest of this is just going to be in camera settings and then how we save the file. So starting with the camera, first thing is the object properties. We need to make sure our rotations are all 0. Generally they will be, unless you like rotate it a little bit before you hit Control-Alt-0. Like here you can see that I rotated Z and X a little bit. So if we hit 0, 0, 0, it'll just zero out those rotations. And then X location, we just have to kind of get rid of the decimals just to clean up the last part of this. We hit like negative 4600 here, and negative 10720. See, it's like there, and then come down to the data or object data properties. It looks like a camera. Click on this guy. We need to change this from perspective to orthographic, and then change your orthographic scale from 6 to about 240 to 300. I generally just go 300 to start. And you'll see like here's the scene we're actually rendering. So if we hit F12 again, see here is what we'd be rendering for our capture. You could center it and stuff. I'm not going to bother for this tutorial, but you just play with the XY coordinates. And then the last part is once we go back into that render, I'm just going to pause so I don't leak my name again. I guess I should explain how to save as. Click this open image file folder, and that'll leak my name. So one sec. Okay, so this is what's going to pop open as a file explorer, and I will show you really quick on what the file structure has to be in order to save properly. Sorry, not out. I want to go to PNG. So PNG counter maps. There we go. So what you need to do is encounter underscore. and the encounter number. You can get that weakors is the easiest way. There'll be like a current encounters list in the weakors thing if you go to load conditions. If you can't, otherwise I actually don't know where to find it outside of running a script over the game files, which is what I did. But yeah, so you encounter number and then underscore, and then X is going to be the orthographic X that we used. So here would be negative 4600 when we were saving this. Counter, whatever the encounter number would be, X negative 4600 underscore Y, and then the Y would be the other Y value, so 107, or the other coordinate value, negative 10720. If you put in 10720, it won't work. It has to be negative 10720 here. And then the last part, that S, is just the orthographic scale, which we get by going back to this camera. Sorry, we go back to the camera, and remember we set the orthographic scale to 300, so it's just s300.png. And that would be how we save the file, so it loads when the log shows that encounter number. So yeah, hope that helps. Yeah, good luck.